Hello guys, FadeGG, and I'm playing some more Fallout New Vegas. Who are you?
I'll never get used to the sight of ghouls. When people have got nothing left, they can always turn to the followers.
Alright. Anyways, I said last episode we were gonna go do these.
You again. You interested in giving this thing another shot, or what?
I'm looking for work.
Alright, good. But why should I take you on? What do you bring to the table?
I could drop a death claw with one shot from half a mile away.
Now we're talking. Look, on the list of top 10 skills you need to make it in this business, numbers 1 through fucking 9 are shooting people with guns. Alright, so, ready to get to work?
So, we good to go?
I suppose we are. Alright, I'll give you a quick overview of how this operation runs. Now listen up, because I hate repeating myself near as much as I hate cazadors. Now, first off, to keep dumb new recruits from getting wasted on their first job, I keep things organized into 3 tiers, right? First tier, you got your pussy-ass targets. Card cheats, drug cooks, public masturbators, that sort of shit. Second tier, we got guys who might actually make you work for it. Third tier, we got the badass fuckers. And you will be starting with softer targets, just to save me time and money, and you blood. So, you see a contract you like, you buy it from me. You can only have one open contract at a time. You succeed, I pay you back with interest. Higher risk means higher reward, in case that weren't fucking obvious. That's about it. If you're still confused, check that terminal in the corner of the room. Welcome back.
Let me see what you have to say.
Okay.
You have weapons. 14, Mary's Way. I like a first tier contract.
Alright, here's what I got.
Let's go with the easy ones. I'll take a contract for lead.
You know, it's funny, I have a special fondness for hookers and whores, but pimps? Fuck them. You think I'd like them for their role in the sex trade. You know what it is, I think, is gold. I mean, gold-plated guns are just the fucking worst. Nothing screams, I'm a pussy, quite like a golden desert eagle, you know?
Yeah.
And which profession is most liable to use something like that, huh? Yeah, I rest my case. Plus, they also got those giant golden cups, too. just go kill the pimp, okay? Or talk him out of his current bullshit if you're the sort to place value on all human life, which you shouldn't. Welcome back.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
Alright, fine.
Any words of wisdom?
Sometimes you'll get yourself a target with the love of theatrical bullshit. They want a monologue at you, common sense be damned. In cases like that, my advice would be to fire a load of buckshot into their guts while they're mid-speech. Why the guts and not the head? So that they've got enough time for their dying thoughts to be, oh shit, this was a bad idea.
Any professional advice?
Yeah, here's one I figured out early on. Good thing too, cause I can't work if I don't get a good sleep. Invariably, you'll get some targets with family. Some of those sorts will try to get revenge. No big deal. You self-defense those fuckers. Nah, the annoying ones are the ones that get all weepy, calling you a murderer, asking why you blew their daddy up, some shit like that. It ain't on you. Innocent folk don't get prices put on their heads. You're just a triggerman.
How'd you get into this
I'm
business?
good with a gun, I don't have any moral objections to killing, and I can't stand tedious day-to-day work. Good money to be made, so I kept at it. Now I'm getting older and the work ain't slowing down, so fuck it. I can subcontract and profit.
What are your thoughts of the Legion?
It's pretty open and shut, isn't it? Legion is evil, and they need to be destroyed.
Agreed.
No way, Joe Tully. The Legion is, like, morally gray, man. Their methods may be brutal, but golly gee, they sure made Arizona safer now.
People around here are so fucking stupid. They try to tell themselves the Legion isn't all bad because the alternative scares them. Nobody gets their pussies all twisted over fiends or jackals or other gangs so worthless that they don't warrant me remembering their names.
But the Legion claims to be the great counter of the NCR, so surely they can't be all bad.
Fuck, man. Sure, they're a nation of slavers that entertains itself by crucifying POWs and raping anything female they get their hands on, age be damned. How noble they are, committing genocide on tribal cultures that refuse to fold and become the newest batch of slave soldiers. The notion that a big-ass nation can be entirely evil scares people so bad, they pretend the Legion must have positive points. And yet, the only justification for that bit of genius is, invariably, some fucking bullshit about safe roads.
I was ripped from my home at the age of 5. I watched them rape my mom and burn my dad alive. Then they tortured me and forced me to train. They forced me to kill innocent people under the threat of crucifixion. But I don't hold a grudge because fucking safe roads.
Fucking retards. People are too goddamn stupid for their own good, I swear to God.
How do you feel about the NCR?
Bad for business. That's my biggest problem with them. Look at what they did to California. They policed their own shit and penalized vigilantism. Hard for a business like mine to prosper. Aside from that, I suppose they're alright. I mean, the top level people are all fucking retards, but grading on a whole, they're not bad. They really are handling the Mojave in the dumbest possible way, though. God damn. They show up in someone's town uninvited. They declare that town is part of them now, and it has to abide by their rules and pay their taxes. And if that town has trouble with bandits or what have you,
Sorry, we're stretched too thin.
no wonder locals fucking hate them. Still, overall, they're decent folk. Look, they got a giant army with exactly one war crime under their belt. pretty good track record.
Never mind.
Yeah, fine.
Alrighty, let's get on with this.
Hello? Hey.
Alrighty, so where do I need to head? Let's go to that cut, but I can head right there. Alrighty, here is he. There he is.
Caravan of two now.
Yo.
Hey, my man. Have you seen a pair of dirty hoes running around here? They ran their asses out of my little pussy ranch, New Rockwell, and Daddy Lee ain't got no idea where the fuck they went. It'd be better for them if they died, of course. Daddy Lee ain't gonna forgive a bitch making him search a fucking desert in his nice wingtips.
And you're looking for these ladies in the middle of a dry lake bed. Why?
You gotta put yourself in the mindset of a cheap-ass hoe, yo. Now, first of all, Daddy Lee is connected in California, so these skanks wouldn't dare head for the Mojave outpost. And Prim is a little shitty town populated by little shitty people. People with ridiculous ideas about ethics and morality. You know what I mean? Ain't no Johnnies for bitches in a place like that, is all Daddy Lee is saying. And these bitches know it. Oh yeah. Nah, they thinking Daddy Lee wouldn't bother looking for them in a place like this. And they also probably thinking of digging for treasure too. Yeah, the old story about the treasure of Ivanpah Lake and shit. For real, all sorts of motherfuckers come out here looking for that shit. Like the ones who are gonna find it are gonna be some hookers in heels? That's some ignorant shit, even for dumb hussies with flat asses.
Why are you referring to yourself in the third
Because
person?
it lends more gravitas and authority to the words that come out of Daddy Lee's beautiful mouth, motherfucker.
It sounds like these women don't want you to work for you.
So? Daddy Lee gives no consideration to the whining of flat-assed bitches. Especially flat-assed bitches that absconded with Daddy Lee's property. That property, of course, being the flat-assed bitches in question. Daddy Lee wouldn't accept his toaster growing legs and walking away neither.
So, what happens when you find these women?
Well now, that depends entirely on the reaction of the bitches in question. If they grovel and beg in an appropriately degrading fashion, then Daddy Lee will take them back after doling out a sufficient number of pimp slaps. If they insist upon being willful and contrary, then Daddy Lee will likely have to strangle the life out of one of them while the other watches. Probably Angel. Crystal can at least be counted on to prepare Daddy Lee's coffee the way he likes it. Angel is more expendable all around. Also, an aside, Daddy Lee asks that you do not refer to his bitches as quote-unquote women, as that implies a level of human dignity that they do not warrant.
Are you aware that these missing employees of yours put out a contract on your life?
They did what now? Daddy Lee is outraged and appalled at the disloyalty of these bitches. After all Daddy Lee has done for them, he gave them food and shelter and love. as if performing fellatio for cash and disobeying Daddy Lee weren't enough, they go and try to kill the greatest man they'll ever know. It's as if they are going out of their way to bathe themselves in shame and perfidy. Well, there can only be one response. Oh yes. Daddy Lee's just gonna have to go ahead and hang both of them skanks and leave their filthy bodies to serve as example. Look what they forced Daddy Lee to do. Daddy Lee rues the day he didn't order those sluts chained to his radiator 23 hours a day.
Should I shoot him? I don't think you know who you're talking to, Daddy Lee. Yeah, you don't know anyone.
It would seem as though the whole affair was based upon an incorrect first impression. Daddy Lee was laboring under the delusion that you were a member of the general public at large. Daddy Lee failed to recognize a fellow pimp at first sight,
What?
and for that, Daddy Lee apologizes most profusely. In regards to the bitches in question, Daddy Lee reluctantly recognizes that, by pimp law, the hoes now belong unequivocally to you. Daddy Lee advises you give each of them at least 20 solid pimp slaps, otherwise they may remain ignorant of their place relative to yourself. Now, pleasure though it was for Daddy Lee to converse with a fellow professional, Daddy Lee is short on time and tired
still
of this
shooting this
fucking
guy.
desert. Daddy Lee is going to investigate Vegas proper, both for new hoes, as well as a liquor dispensary with which to refill his pimp cup. Daddy Lee bids you farewell and good day.
The fight started.
Alright. Sit back. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification to notify my next video. Comment down below if you want tips, suggestions, comments, whatever. Share these friends so they can enjoy my videos. And yeah, alrighty. Bye, guys.